I'm excited about this episode. We're going to talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and I think we're going to have a lot of value for our real estate agent audience. Today, we're going to talk about generating high-quality leads with social media and scaling your business online. Two hot topics that I think the industry is in dire need of support. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Lindsey Anderson. She's an expert on this topic. She's a business consultant, host of the Millionaire Maker Show podcast, author of the Amazon bestseller, The Click Technique, tapping into the internet's massive power to produce a steady stream of traffic and leads for your business. Lindsey, welcome to the podcast.
Jeff, I'm so excited to be on today because I agree with you. I think realtors need this information, especially in the current economic climate.
Yes. And gosh, I don't want to be too critical because, I've made a lot of marketing and social media mistakes along the way as well. There's been a lot of trial and error in my career, and we talked a little bit before I hit record. Social media is not my area of expertise. So that's another reason why I couldn't wait to get you on. But when I noticed that your focus is scaling a business online and generating leads with social media marketing, I knew that was because when I see anything digital marketing, especially social media, can be so scalable and affordable. Yes. I just knew that this was somebody, you were somebody that I wanted to get on the podcast. This was a topic I wanted to cover. So thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it.
I'm excited.
Lindsey, before we get started about your company, the work that you're doing now, just share a quick bio, quick background on yourself, hometown, education. What were you doing before you decided to, before you decided to work 7 days a week?
Oh, I don't work 7 days a week, Jeff. That's where you're wrong, okay? Because we're going to talk about systems today, not to correct the host out of the gate.
No, I'm glad you did.
My short bio is I've been an online business owner helping people scale their online businesses through digital marketing and strong sales techniques over the past 20 years. So I got 2 decades in the business. I love marketing. I have an agency, a done for you agency that runs millions of dollars worth of ads. So I know the paid side. I have an agency that does the SEO. And then I also am a coach and consultant, really helping people get to those 7 and 8 figure businesses. And so I'm from a small town called Shelley, Idaho. 5,000 people, okay? 1 stoplight, and I remember when it was put in, but I now live in Portland, beautiful Portland, Oregon, and I kind of run those 2 sides of my business. I run the marketing side, the marketing agency side, as well as the coaching and consulting side, and I'm married with 3 kids, and I was recently on reality TV. There you go.
I noticed the reality TV appearance as well. That's really interesting. Maybe we can dive into that a little bit.
You're welcome to ask any questions. It is, you're a marketer, so I'll just say this. It's the best hook I've ever had, Jeff. Okay?
Really? Well, yeah, you mentioned I'm a marketer as well. I also have a small agency, it's been a slow build. Still, I would call it in startup mode still, but so you run both an agency and coaching consulting. So yeah, I think that's really cool. When did you form the marketing agency?
So the agency's been going 20 years. So that was my first business. And then I realized that there's a lot of people that don't need done for you, but they need a lot of strategy and the systems like implemented for them and not just the marketing stuff. So I have a course where I help real estate agents and people and experts like that scale through social media. That's like my main bread and butter, as well as that marketing agency.
I chuckled when you called me out for the comment about working 7 days a week. And I was a little tongue in cheek because one of the reasons that I wanted to get you on is that the real estate industry is full of people, fine folks, smart, capable professionals who work too much, work 7 days a week, long days, are, sort of handcuffed to their phones and their laptops all the time. And when it comes to digital marketing and scaling a business online, the thought that comes to mind to me is you build these systems and let them go, let them run, and you can take a step back. So there's a little bit of heavy lifting up front, but once you've implemented the right systems and you've dialed them in, you can really put things on autopilot and start taking time to taking time off or taking time to work on your business rather than end it all the time, right?
Yeah, and that's what I really like about working with realtors is that these guys are like, they're serious and they're not afraid of working and they're not afraid of hustling and they're not afraid of the phone calls and they're not afraid of selling or any of this. Like, they want to succeed. They're not afraid to work. The problem is they don't know what tasks to do. Like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm currently running around, and because I feel busy, then I feel like I'm trying to get there. But very rarely do they actually know what those tasks are that are going to take their business ahead. But you're absolutely right. I call this slow down to speed up. You have to slow down and document and put some systems in and learn some new skills before you can really take off and allow the system and the marketing to really work for you. I just returned from an entire 8 days visiting my hometown, which I just talked about, and the business just runs. I showed up for like 3 meetings, but we still got leads coming in, sales calls coming in. Everything is rocking and rolling over here. But I put in a lot of effort, and we can talk about that today. But that's where you want to be, I think. That's where I wanted to be anyway.
Absolutely. My first business, I've been self-employed officially for nearly 15 years. Prior to that, I was in a commission sales position for about 10 years. So that was also essentially self-employed, but I was W-2 and had a boss, but I was still, ate what I killed, right?
You are doing your own. Yeah.
Yeah. So my first official small business, local business, was the opposite of scalable. So I know and can appreciate, and I didn't know at the time, you don't know what you don't know. And so when I founded the business, I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be to scale. And that was ultimately why I got out of it. It was successful by all measurements, except for the fact that I couldn't remove myself from the process. So I was, basically, I had a job. I had a really cool job, right?
Yeah.
And I had a business that ran me. I didn't run the business.
And most people will back into it like that. Most people are like, I'm going into business and I'll just bring in the money and then I'll figure out how to scale later. But unfortunately, you kind of need a plan to actually get there.
Yeah, absolutely. The feeling busy part, can trick the brain, right? And make you think that you're actually accomplishing something.
You're so successful and you're so busy, but then you look at your freaking bank account and you're like, this is so not worth what is happening right now.
Right. Yeah, I can relate to that too. Slow down to speed up. I love that too. I know we're going to dive more into that. So share some details, kind of a 40,000 foot view of your expertise and what guests learn in your masterclasses and the kinds and coaching and I know you're a speaker as well, and you have masterclasses available. There's a new class coming up shortly, I think in September sometime, and then maybe we'll touch on the agency side as well.
Yeah, so my whole thing is I've been doing digital marketing and sales for 20 years. I've developed a system that works really well for experts, and it's a social media system. Can I share that with you? Is that I feel like, because that's really what I talk about in my coaching. That's what I tell all of my clients, and I would like to share. I think your listeners would find it really valuable. So
absolutely.
So like social media, a lot of people will just like be posting on social media, and like I learned this on the reality show. So there was a lot of people on the reality show that had multiple times the followers than me, okay? And they have a lot of eyeballs, but I was definitely, out of anyone on that show, making way more money off of my social media than any of those individuals, because they were posting as influencers and not as business owners. And so you really want to approach social media as a business owner, and there's ways to do that. We can talk about that if you're interested, but you can't just go into social media. Here's a big myth. You go into social media, and if I'm posting, then people will buy from me. If people like me, then they will buy from me. These kind of ideas, and it doesn't work that way. Like, it's easy enough to get eyeballs if I share about my divorce or what I think about politics. Super easy, but that's not going to bring sales, and that's where a lot of real estate agents can fall short, or they're just not doing it at all. But the key is you have this marketing washing machine. As a real estate agent, you are going to networking events. You're posting on social. Maybe you're going on podcasts, whatever. You're in a magazine. You're handing out open houses, business cards, and you have this marketing washing machine. And then you just hope and pray that people will come out of that washing machine and buy from you. But the key that is missing for most people is a conversion event. And you mentioned my class that I'm teaching. I host conversion events all the time. And that is, it takes those people out of the washing machine and brings them closer into your world. So for a real estate agent, it is 4 tips on what you need to do to buy a house in the blah, blah area right now. And it's an online class to get people out of that washing machine. Okay. You have to have like a strike point. And that's really what people are missing. So I teach what's called the invite-only event. So you invite all your hot leads, you present this thing, and you ask the hot people to get on a phone call. So social media to a conversion event to a sales situation. And when you plan it out like that, it makes things a lot easier. So that's what I teach. That's what I consult with. That's what my business is built upon. That's what I teach others.
Conversion event. I love it. I'm a sales funnel guy. I'm a marketing funnel guy, and I'm constantly trying to refine my real estate marketing funnels. And it's the conversion event. That's the key. That's the piece that is so challenging, I think, often. But maybe we overthink it. Maybe it's really not that challenging. But just really, I mean, that's what you need. That's the missing link to get them from the ether of the internet or wherever it is you're connecting with them initially into your world, onto your list, and to be able to demonstrate your expertise, right?
Yeah, and for them to start paying attention, because there's a lot of competition in the real estate market and on social media, and their children and their other problems in life. And so, you want to catch them at the right time, and that's why you just give this same invite-only event on rinse and repeat to catch the people who are ready to come in at that time. You don't want to be guessing, because people are ready at their own time.
What's your favorite format? Webinar, in person?
Yeah, so I teach my invite-only event. So, to your point where you're like, well, maybe we overthink it. That's kind of the hard part. I would agree with you. I think it is the hard part, because people show up on this. So then they show up on a webinar or they go do a live event, and they're like, if people like me, they will buy from me. But they don't talk to their buyers' problems. They don't make the title sexy enough for people to want to come. They end up talking about themselves. They end up talking about things that their buyers don't give two craps about, and putting people to sleep or whatever. So that is a sales masterclass. It is not, let's have coffee with the realtor class.
Right.
If you want to do it right and effectively. Yeah. So, I would agree with you on that. Now, I've actually forgotten your last question. I'm sorry, Jeff. Will you repeat that?
Oh, my last question. That's a good question. So I was talking about conversion events and in the sense of a funnel.
Oh, yeah. You said live or in person. That's
live
right.
or in person. Yeah.
So the beautiful
or
part
live
is
or online.
You create this it's 54 minutes, because I've given this thing 100 times. I've shared it with hundreds of people. 54 minutes is the perfect time. Take that away, because then people are like, they can hear your call to action before they are looking at their calendar for their next meeting. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it's the same class you give every single week, and you can do it live. You can do it online, because it's the same thing. So to answer your question, you try to do it live because you're going to convert more, because there's more intimacy, and with intimacy comes trust. But if not, you do it online. Thank you, Zoom.
So higher conversions in person.
Definitely.
If you're doing a live event. Yeah, that makes sense.
But in terms of saving time, it's the same thing, right? And once you're really good at it, like you're Taylor Swift at this thing, you're given the same performance every time. You get so good at it. And then you hear the phone calls for the people who get on the sales call, and you're like, oh, that's why they're on the call. Maybe it's not the right buyer. I'm going to actually tweak that part, and you get better and better, and just iterate that thing until it becomes your best marketing tool you've ever had.
Absolutely. It's going to take some dialing in, right?
It's all iterative. Never think you're done. Never think you're done.
Yeah. It's never 100% right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've run Facebook ads and refined ads and just dialed them in and then all of a sudden it just clicks.
It's all a big testing thing. It's like flying a plane from California to New York on autopilot. It just keeps self-correcting until it's like dead on.
I love it. What's your favorite? Well, let me rephrase that. For marketing, digital marketing for real estate agents, what platforms should they be utilizing?
Well, I've had successful real estate agents on all platforms. So when you are, I'll share with you a little bit about my social media strategy. It works on all social media platforms. So you want to go on social media showing 4 things in order to be a business owner, not an influencer. Okay. And this works on any platform. I have successful YouTube, Facebook, basically to answer your question, because I don't want to skirt around it because that's annoying. To not answer your question, is wherever you have like the most people, wherever you have the most momentum. That's the answer.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. And so you want to display 4 things. You need, and they call them your VEMS, VEMS. So V is for vibe. Of course, you want to be showing people that you're a real person and they want to be able to connect with you. So I pick 3 things that I'm willing to share online that people can associate with me and make their stereotypes about, or like their assumptions about. So for me, it's I live in the most beautiful state, which is Portland, Oregon. I don't want to hear from you, Jeff, okay? The second one is I'm a mother of 3, because that really resonates with my clients because they don't have time. I don't have time. I got 3 kids. And I'm really into health and fitness. So if something falls into those and it's happening in my life, I will post it on social media. Because that 3 is enough that people kind of get to know you, but you're not like also posting about weird hobbies you have. And they're like, what is happening? Okay.
Well, listen, I've heard that Portland is a beautiful city and a great place to live. And in fact, my wife and I, it's on our short list of visiting the Pacific Northwest in the very near future. We really can't wait to go out there and visit. And she even brought up, because the topic of moving, relocating has come up quite a few times. We can both basically work remotely now. So
great.
So we're able to, we're not that we don't love Charlotte, we do, but we might be ready to spread our horizons. And she literally just 2 nights ago said, "What about Portland?"
Dude, you have got to come and visit. 90 minutes from the beach, 90 minutes from skiing. It's best.
And that temperate climate, right? It's never super hot. It's never super cold.
They complain about the rain, but like, it's great.
Let me tell you something. Fun fact, and then we'll get back on track here. True story. Charlotte, North Carolina receives more annual rainfall than Seattle, Washington.
Crazy.
So I don't know how Portland compares to Seattle. Probably pretty similar, but
the problem is
it
comes in little teeny tiny raindrops around here, so it takes a lot longer to add up.
It takes a lot longer. It hangs around a lot longer.
Yeah.
I gotcha. All right. So number 1, we got vibe, and the 3 things that you love to share: Portland, of course, your family, and health and wellness.
Yeah. So pick 3 things that makes you a real human instead of just a realtor.
Okay. Pick 3 things, and then just kind of, and don't be all over the place.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, if I'm coming in with something weird, they don't know if I'm talking about religion or something, they're gonna be like, what? Right. Who? What? Like, that's not what I'm subscribing to this channel for. And what is it doing for your positioning anyway?
Don't talk about golf 3 times a week, and then a year later start talking about tennis.
Probably not. Right? No, because you're gonna get those people who like golf. So just pick 3 things that keeps it easy for you.
Gotcha.
All right. So V for vibe. E is for experience. Of course, you want to be sharing. We just sold this house. We just did this. This is what I do for an open house. This is how I handle these are all my wins and why you want me. And you want to be sharing those, of course. They're not going to go find them themselves, so you want to be sharing those. And you don't want to be saying, here's a customer testimonial. Those are always great. But with even experience, and we're talking on social media, you put it in a story. Just got done with an open house. There was 20 people here. It was so great. That's how we show up as winners for our clients.
I love that. That's a good point.
You say your own experience about what you're doing.
I think open houses is one of those opportunities that I was going to ask you about, where realtors can, it's not a digital opportunity, so we're not going to talk about it much, but that's an opportunity I think that is being missed by a lot of real estate agents. I think there needs to be a little bit more creativity.
Open houses are everything. And I know sitting at an open house is like worst case scenario. Like, it sucks if no one comes, but like, it's also a really great time to make content and to like do some marketing stuff. So you're working, so you may as well go work in an open house.
Absolutely. And then when it comes to sharing experience, and this may be something you're going to get to in a little bit, I don't want to jump ahead, so forgive me if I am, but does the content, should it be kind of helpful and valuable content? Or
yes, of course. Yeah, of course. Talking about the area, but I mean, people also like to see houses. in the
Yeah.
area. So like that is also helpful. Look at this open house, isn't it? Like what are the features of it? People love a sneak peek. Like everybody loves to go into an open house, even if you're not in the market.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, people. So I have a YouTube channel here locally, separate from this platform, a different platform, a local platform here in the Charlotte area, specifically Lake Norman. And I've grown that YouTube channel a lot faster by doing video walkthrough tours and drone footage of waterfront homes here on the lake, magnificent custom homes, and yeah, it's people love to look at houses.
Yeah,
so
and like the experience is great.
Yeah.
Again, they're following you. You are a personality because you are a real estate agent. You guys know that you're personalities, so you're a personality brand, and so people follow you because you have your 3 VEMs, cool little vibe stuff. And what is it? What house is she selling today? What is she doing today? People just love this sneak peek. So you share just a little bit of like behind the scenes what's happening at work.
Yeah, some behind the scenes stuff,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
All right, so we got vibe, experience.
Yep. The third thing is M for methodology. So what will make you as a realtor stand out from all of your competitors? It's not, hey, let's see if we're going to make a good match and if I can be your real estate agent. No, they want somebody serious who has a plan and a system, and so you share that online. You say it is the simple home selling system. As an agent with me, when you come in, this is what it looks like and why we are the best in XYZ area. And you outline a plan so they view you as a professional with a plan. It will make you stand out way farther than the competition.
Do you think that, and I think that highly successful agents generally have a system or a plan, and some,
you should share
a
it.
good portion may not, but to your point, yeah, do you think that, I wonder if maybe they're worried that somebody's going to steal their system, or they have a fear of sharing it publicly in their marketing and advertising? You think that's
could be. I mean, I would say I'm sitting here sharing with you my entire system. There's one thing, there's like ideas are a dime a dozen. Implementing this shit or implementing this stuff is an entirely, I didn't know what this was rated, is an entirely different situation. So like, I don't get too worked up about people stealing stuff. And like, there's certain things you can keep under the roof. But like, if you're kind of going into it with that, let's open up a little bit would be my advice maybe.
No, I agree. I think you should share, almost all, if not all, of your knowledge.
Yeah,
like share everything you know. Like teach everything you know.
It.
Yeah, right.
You're a marketer. Right. You know how this goes.
I do. Yeah, I do know how it goes. Vibe, experience, methodology, and give me the S.
The S is for skills. And so, for example, my real estate agent that sold me this house, beautiful house in Portland, she had skills. And she needs to show those online. So her skills were, she knew how many steps from the driveway to get to our kitchen for when that's our major trip from groceries. And so like she knows stuff like that and would point that out. She was also incredibly skilled at all of the homes in this area, which the second they would go on sale, she was in there trying to fight, and then she would be able to like negotiate really well because she knew the area. So those are her skills. And so you showcase those online. What area are you a specialty in? What's going on right there? Because people have their eyes on different markets for sure, based on school districts, based on this. So you're all of a sudden the realtor that knows how to negotiate deals and what the other houses are going for or whatever else in the area. You're going to be the number one pick.
I am a firm believer in selecting a niche and going a mile deep.
Got to do it. Got to do it.
And especially when it comes to real estate, because there is so much competition. I don't think that you can be truly successful by trying to cover a wide range of neighborhoods and cities and towns and suburbs. One of the most successful brokers in North Carolina happens to be here in my market, and he's an awesome guy. And he has built a reputation as being the guy, if you want to buy a home on a golf course in the Charlotte area, in a gated golf course community or a luxury community, but if you're looking specifically for a golf property, he's the real estate agent to call. And he's built a killer business, and it's just him. He occasionally co-lists, but he's got support staff, but he doesn't have a team, and he's just absolutely crushing it. But he's developed that reputation as the go-to guy if you want to buy a home in one of these luxury golf communities.
What it is.
He's the one.
That's what it is, because then all the people in the market for the luxury golf course homes are following him for the day they buy or the day they invest or whatever, because they're all into it.
Yep. Yep. And it's taken it's taken some time to build that business. And I guarantee you, I know he's a member of at least 2 private clubs in the Charlotte area.
Well, I
bet he's a member
we should
at
talk
others.
about relationships for sure, because that's key. But certainly that's how it's done.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's talk
Okay,
about
so
relationships. I love it.
I know, and I'm drooling over this topic. Okay, so yes, you're gonna post content. I just told you what to post for content as a real estate agent. VEMS, vibe, experience, methodology, and skills. Many realtors will do what I call a content drop and run. They'll be like, there, Mr. VA, there's my VEMS. See you later. I'm never going to have to hit Facebook or Instagram again because I hired somebody else to do it. Or I posted and then never went back. And that is the hugest mistake that you're going to make on social media, because it's all about nurturing relationships on social media. And these algorithms are shockingly amazing at helping people see your content. So you're posting content, but then you want to do 2 other things on social media, okay? Number 1, you want to be doing what's called virtual networking, which is you have maybe buyers, or you have other people in your market, and you're out there virtually networking, just like you realtors love networking events. Do that online and be like, if they were in person, what would I be doing? But you get to do it at home in your jammies or during your open house. Okay? So you're making sure you're nurturing those connections. What does that look like? You're DMing people. You're saying happy birthday to people. You're supporting others. You're telling that buyer your dog is cute, whatever. Okay? And then you're doing what's called black booking, which is you're finding other people to add to your social media network. And so maybe that's buyers, maybe that's other people around, and you add them, because when you add them to your social media network, then the algorithms start showing your stuff to them, and then you can communicate with them. And it's crazy, there could be an open house, and because of the way your phones track, you could have buyers come into your open house, and because your phones are like in the same geolocation, they will start seeing your social media content.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Those algorithms are insane. So then if you're DMing buyers, like, hey, we're connected on Facebook, it's great, like, we're friends, on Facebook, and you like DM them every once in a while, they'll see your content.
Yeah.
So don't forget that. You cannot content drop and run. You have to use the social piece too.
Nurture.
Yep.
Right?
Gotta nurture it.
Nurture your connections online and social media, and it also comes down to kind of authenticity too, doesn't it? I mean, social content drop and run is a very authentic way of marketing.
Exactly. And again, I think real estate agents shine in person. That's why they're at all the lead events and in the chamber and everything like that. You just have to bring those exact skills, because they're the exact same people online, so you can actually scale this thing.
Scale. Yes. Scale. There's so many coaches and influencers, I would say, that I've seen on both social and YouTube in the real estate space who advocate methodologies that are old school and just not scalable. And I just don't think are practical in the 21st century, but more so, you're not really utilizing this wonderful digital marketing technology called social media in order to when you're cold calling or when you're door knocking. I mean, talk about
crazy
something that you
calling.
Can't scale, like, you know what I mean? So
I mean, it's way more effective. Instead of cold calling, you're adding people on social media, and they start seeing your content, and you're like, hey, I'm just a local realtor here, and you're like, whatever you would say to them in the grocery store, you'll find this system, but it's way more effective, because then they start seeing your content. Once you do a cold call, you're done. Mm-hmm. And even better if you cold call and then add them on social media, then you're a winner. That's the beautiful part about organic social media marketing. I know you're an SEO guy and you run some ads.
Yeah.
I love that stuff too. I build a business on that. But the organic social media makes all of that go a million times better because of all the cookies and they know who you are, and like it just amplifies the entire thing.
It raises the authority of all those
Of all
other
of
channels,
it,
doesn't
because-
it?
Yeah, of all of it.
What else do you have for me for relationships?
Well, so back to that, because I feel like I was a little, I say that to people and I get a lot of nods, okay? But honestly, it's the hardest thing, the relationship piece. And again, I really respect real estate agents because they're real salesmen and they get denied and said no to a lot. But I just want to point this out is that like in terms of, cold calling and doing reach outs, it's the least favorite thing because you are going to be denied. It's just part of what happens. Like you're only get like 1 out of 50 or something. And so you have to build those calluses for being rejected. And it's that right there, this building relationship thing, and people will put off that task that should be done every single day if you want to see more sales. They'll put it off all week because they have emails to write or blah, blah, blah to do or whatever. You'll find 10 other things that are more important than social networking online because they don't want to show up on video looking stupid and they don't want to be rejected. Same thing, right? And so if you want to grow your real estate business, you just get A-OK with looking stupid for a while, and then you can look back and be like, see you guys later. I did it. But it's never going to feel good until you do it 100 times. And so if you're waiting around for it to feel good and like comfortable and something you want to do and prioritize, you'll be waiting forever. So my advice is you guys stop listening to this podcast when you're not driving in your car. You pull up your calendar and every morning from 8 to 9:30, you are doing this social networking stuff. That's my advice. And you just do it like a robot till you see it works and then you'll want to do it.
Yeah, just hit record.
Don't
worry about
Doesn't matter how you feel because you'll never feel like doing it.
Don't wait for it to be perfect. Don't wait to look perfect.
It's going to
Don't
suck
wait to
all
feel
day
perfect.
the first 50 times. So just like get all that out of the way.
Might drop a link to the first podcast episode I ever recorded back in 2019 for my first podcast production, so people can understand what it sounds like when you first start. And like it's just going to be awkward. Yeah. That's right. That's right. It'll get better.
Dude,
and also,
it will totally get better. And the first time's the worst time. That's what I say.
That's right. And also, no one's going to hold it
and
against
no one
you.
cares because they have 2-second mime brains and no one cares. Imagine like how much you cared about somebody you knew that did something weird on social media. Like you can't even remember it, but it totally happened.
Right. How important is video and social media?
For real estate agents, gotta do it, period. It is a relationship game. How are they going to know that's the way you're going to sell. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And it's the way of the future.
Totally. Yep. I love it. Lindsey, we're about out of time. I asked you for 30 minutes. We're going a little bit over. I so appreciate you joining the podcast and sharing this marketing GOLD. I really appreciate it. Before I let you go, share with listeners about your masterclasses coming up, how they can learn more about you, your work, your company, and how they can connect with you.
Awesome. If you like the strategies that I'm sharing with you today, the social media, the invite-only event, the sales strategy, I'm always giving a live virtual event. I have one coming up. All you need to do is head over to lindseyAnderson.live. That's Lindsey Anderson with an O, SON.live, and you can get a ticket for my next virtual masterclass. Those are free. That's if you really want to dive into what I talked about on today's episode, just head over there. And then if you want to find out more about me, just head over to lindsaya.com. That is my website, and get signed up for that masterclass.
Also the host of the Millionaire Maker Show podcast as well. Are you still producing that?
Yep, still producing that. And my second book for a shameless plug is coming out August 14th called The Unlaunch Method. So watch for that.
I love it. I'll have links in the description, of course, for this episode, as always. Lindsey Anderson, crushing it. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. Let's do this again soon.
Let's do it, Jeff. Thank you so much.